Hi everyone, Senator Jason Rarick here at the Capitol, and I want to talk to you a little bit today. Session is finally over, and talk a little bit about what happened, what maybe didn't happen. But this was a year as we were coming in. It was a short year. It was a non-budget year, and with it being an election year, so basically everything in Minnesota is up for re-election and a tied house. There was a lot of kind of angst and wondering what is actually going to get done. And I think a lot of people were thinking not much would get done. So I'm actually fairly surprised by what the agreements were in the end and what we did get done. So that's a good thing. For the most part, we took care of some things. Nothing major was accomplished. I'd say the biggest thing that was expected and that we did get done is we did a $1.2 billion bonding bill. And you've heard me talk about, my concerns around the bonding bill from many years past. We've put a lot of pet projects into these to buy legislators' votes. Last year, the bill we did was strictly infrastructure. I was really hoping we could stick to that theme, and for the most part this year, we did. A lot of water infrastructure projects, a lot of road, bridge, a lot of asset preservation, fixing up the buildings and such that we already have. So, very glad to see that we could stay focused again and to be able to support that bonding bill. And one of the things that I think most proud of is, as the Senate Republicans, the only true minority caucus here, we don't have a lot of say in things, but we did leverage the need for our votes on the bonding bill to ensure that we got a 1-year reduction in our vehicle tabs. I've heard from so many people, and we've seen countless news articles and news reports, people just saying, what has happened, and Minnesota is such an outlier when it comes to what it costs to license our vehicles for 1 year. So unfortunately, the deal we got was just a 1-year reduction for the year of 2027, but hopefully we can continue this discussion when we come back next year and make these cuts more permanent and lower them so we're much closer to the states around us and just so it's affordable for folks. This idea that you're paying more for licensing your vehicle to be on the road than so many other things that we have to pay for can be ridiculous. The other area, that I've been involved in the education realm now for the last 4 years, it was disappointing that we did not do any type of mandate relief for our schools, allowing them to back away from so many of these requirements that they have. But we did address a couple of little things. We've got some funding in place and some assistance for them around school safety, because we know that's an issue, as well as some mental health counseling grants. So those can be very good things. Hopefully that will get out to as many schools as possible. And we did a little bit of money into a compensatory revenue. I'm sure most people don't understand what that is. We have so many different categories for funding for our schools. But this is one of those funding mechanisms that got screwed up when we did the free meals for all kids. And we tried to explain to the Democrats that you're going to mess up this formula by doing the free meals for all kids. And they told us, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Well, here we are 3 years later, still not fixed. So we added in about $10 million of funding to help our schools stay a little bit closer to where they were previously for that. So those things there. And then I think the biggest thing that we can point to, 2 years ago, the Senate passed the bill for the Office of Inspector General. That would be a standalone agency to look at the fraud and really hold our government agencies accountable. The House finally, as we were getting close to the end of session, came to some agreements, passed the bill. We got the bill to the governor's desk and he did sign it. So I think this will be a great step forward to deal with the fraud in Minnesota, having a standalone Inspector General who does not have to answer to a commissioner or to the governor. They will truly be able to do their job to dig into the fraud and to hold folks accountable for it. And part of that also, between that and the bonding discussions. Senator Drazkowski, before he retired, he got, I think, a great provision included in with these agreements, and that is so many times we hear about people, they stole $1 million through fraud and they got fined $15,000. And you throw up your hands and you think, well, why would you stop committing fraud? Senator Drazkowski's bill says you are fined 100% of the amount of money you stole. That is common sense, but you wouldn't think we'd have to pass it into law. But we did, and now we can try to recover as much as possible that's still out there. So, number of things that we wished we could have gotten done that didn't quite make it through, but next year is a year that I think we can do some big talks around education reform and cutting taxes. So hopefully everyone will have a good summer, and I'll see you out and about as we hit the parades and local events.